Welcome back into TF, on the road again. It's February, it's Heart Month. Got to keep that ticker ticking. And there's certainly lots of different things when we start the new year off. We hear the different diets, hear the different foods. And when we get to Heart Healthy Month, it's sort of kind of cool because everybody's tried everything now. Maybe it's opened up a little bit of awareness to some things. Today we're going to look at plant-forward foods for Heart Month. So we've heard a lot of trend about this on plant foods. And don't be turned off. Listen up, because I'm like, I don't know about that, Erin. So should you be afraid of plant-based foods? What should people think?
Right. No, don't be afraid. Plants are so good for our bodies. Okay, so let's start off by what is plant-forward eating. It's really just adding more plants, more foods that come from and derive from plants into your routine. So we're talking, the produce. We're talking the lean proteins such as beans and lentils, those pulses. We're talking nuts and seeds and whole grains.
And why should we eat more plants? I mean, you kind of already mentioned, but why should we really try?
Yeah, so we really want to eat more plants because there's a lot of research out there that shows that plant-based eating helps to decrease risk of diseases, helps to improve cardiovascular health, blood pressure, and so many more.
Yeah, so let's start with the pulse. The pulse. When I saw this, I was like, we gotta get the pulse on all those foods. But the pulse, you could start with dry beans, peas, lentils, chickpeas. Why?
Yes. Well, great lean protein options, great fiber, and all of those will support the heart health. Not to mention the vitamins and minerals within those too. So, such as your lentils, making a lentil soup. You can do chickpeas. I like to use them in almost anything, but we've talked about that. Not for everyone, but maybe start with hummus as a great option.
Working in other protein pieces, so to speak, because we did talk about that last time. I think would go good with that. If you said lean proteins, like I think of chicken always, but fish. Working those in combination with that, because you always hear I think heart health and fish too, right?
You do, absolutely, and you don't have if you're not familiar with using lentils, maybe you use it in a dish that can add in some chicken too. So you don't have to use that as your main source of protein if you're not ready for it, but working into your routine can help to start moving in that direction of a plant-forward diet, especially like the Mediterranean diet, like most of us have heard of.
Well, I think it's building that alternative, right? Trying something different, like working that in, actually probably help you cut back on taking the red meat on again, or taking up whatever is causing more of that blood pressure or that pulse to be kind of up, so to speak.
Just like that, there's a really good method called blending, where you're blending in black beans and ground beef, and you can make tacos with that. So you're decreasing the amount of beef you're going to use because you're going to add in black beans.
By the way, it's really good. Just throwing that out there. You definitely want to try that. And don't give up on these beans. She laughs because I told her I had an unsuccessful time after she told me to try them. Anyway, plant-based milk as well. Milk. How dare you mess with the dairy state's milk?
I know, and don't get me wrong, I am a dairy cow milk drinker at home, but I do mix in my plant-based options when I can as well. So leaning into like a soy milk is a great alternative to dairy milk. It has the same amount of protein, calcium, and other nutrients in it while being more plant-forward. So it's going to be lower in saturated fats, so we're going to have more of those unsaturated, more plant-based fats, and a good option here. So this is great for in a glass in the morning, in your cereal.
It's really good in a glass. Let me tell you, that's you heard it right here.
And I even use plant-based milk when I'm making my oatmeal in the morning.
Again, trying an alternative, right? Like working that in. Yeah. Blending. Could you blend regular and that together? And
absolutely.
Just to kind of start?
Yep.
I say blind taste test. Let's go. But they're not going to do that. It's not a bad thing. Like, don't get discouraged. Like I said, give it a shot. And again, if you can kind of work it in a little bit, nobody's saying you have to stop the things you love. Exactly. You've always said that. I think all the time made a point of that. You don't have to stop the things you love, but working some of those alternatives in there, and it's going to help the ticker.
Absolutely. And like if leaning into a soy milk might be a little too rough in the family right away, lean into, let's say, edamame, which is a soybean that you could snack on as an appetizer with the family, or adding in tofu if you want to be a little bit more adventurous, and trying to air fry it, which is something I'm going to do tonight for dinner.
Oh man, here we go. Let's switch over to blueberries. One of my favorite things that I like to work in each and every day. Blueberries, there are so many benefits to blueberries. There's you can get them you can just get them in so many different ways too, which I think just makes it really nice. So even though they may not be in season, certainly at different times, it's just great.
They're just so good.
Okay, I work for the blueberry manufacturer.
I know,
if you didn't notice. We like our
love blueberries as well. They're one of my favorite fruits of all time. Fresh or frozen, great options. High in antioxidants, which are going to help to decrease inflammation, increase blood flow, and really support that heart health.
All right, and the nut-based spreads and powders, I remember when you introduced us to the peanut butter powder, still laugh to this day, but it works.
It works. Again, using nuts and seeds into your daily routine can increase that heart health with that fiber, that lean protein, those unsaturated fatty acids, which are great to help to lower our LDL or our bad cholesterol. So leaning into the protein powder, adding this to your yogurt or to your oatmeal, or even munching on some almonds as a great option too.
It's not a bad thing. Again, you want to protect the ticker. There's a lot of stresses. There's a lot of things that go with keeping it going well, but kind of making these small changes, you could actually see some improvement within months by switching to this. No joking aside here, which I think is really cool. Like you can start building that in and see some of the results kind of work in your favor.
Exactly, and there's a reason that heart health is so important, and February is Heart Month. And that's why we're really wanting to push, there are these small changes we can make that can make a big impact.
And I say that too because you can get checks as well. So you should check with your primary doctor, or you can do health checks with Erin or dietitians around. But I think it's also just another small thing you can do. You can go to this and add all these things in, but knowing where you're at too as a status check, super important as well.
Absolutely, and so we do have free health screenings this month for heart health. Plus, we are starting to accept insurance as payment for our nutrition counseling services. So if anyone is interested, they can reach out and schedule that one-on-one consult.
Yeah, I said start the conversation. I mean, we always start the conversation talking about some of the good stuff that you can work into your diet, but knowing where you're kind of at, it kind of gives you a benchmark too of, hey, I put some of these things at work, lowered those things down, feel a little bit better, more energy.
And then you're wanting to make more changes.
Well, right, it does make you want to try mixing this in a glass.
Right.
Goes good in a glass. We're never going to let that one go. Erin, thank you so very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.